What did I say? What did I say about Shin in my last video of Kingdom? What did I say? With Riboku finally arriving at the scene of the battlefield by last chapter, I knew for a fact, if just by Shin's personality alone, once he got word of this, once he got word that Riboku was on the scene of the battlefield, he was going to completely disregard everything around him, including Osun's plans that Osun originally gave him, his comrades, and completely just, go all out towards Riboku. Completely diving in headfirst with recklessness. And that is exactly what Shin did in this latest chapter of Kingdom. However, the thing about this is that this is the weakness that Shin has. This is his biggest weakness, and that is his emotions get to him very, very easily. He has completely ran off separately from his comrades. He has disregarded Osun's plan just to go after Riboku. While this, to us is cool, for entertainment purposes and whatnot, because we want to see Riboku and Shin clash it out, with each other once again. But the thing about this is that this is what could cost Shin his life, even though that is most likely not what's going to happen, but it could cost someone else's life, just due to his actions. And that is technically what Riboku is doing. Not only is Riboku turning the whole entire side of the war, but in a sense, he is trying to draw out Shin by provoking him. So while I am hyped in the sense to see Shin and Riboku end up clashing it out once again, at the same time, I do know for a fact that just due to Shin's personality and the recklessness that he has shown throughout the series of Kingdom, it usually leads to some form of consequence later down the line. So what's going to happen with this? Who knows? Because, he technically separated from his comrades, and he doesn't think. This is the thing about Shin. He just doesn't think. He just simply goes in guns blazing. But the thing about this chapter in which I completely loved was that this was a chapter that was basically showing us that if someone loses, a comrade who has been an integral force to the army, that could definitely turn the whole entire tide of war. But this also showed the other side of that factor, into which how a single man can lead a crippling army that was on the verge of defeat, wake them back up, and push them forward back to the winning edge. Riboku, how he came to the battlefield, stabbed Mako through the throat, killed him on the spot, and raised the morale of the whole army on his side, and seeing that army push back the Chin army, that shit was insane. Now Chin is on the receiving end, and Chin's getting fucked over. Time and time and time again, I say this, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. When it comes down to the artwork in Kingdom, the artwork is just stunning and beautiful to look at. But not only that, when it comes down to the presentation of the panels that the artist, delivers, the presentation of those panels and sequences of the events that play out through the story of Kingdom is also really cool to see. And the artist does an amazing job at it, especially how it shows in this chapter of Kingdom, how it shows how one man can change the whole entirety of the tide of war in this chapter and raise, the morale of his soldiers, and completely decimating the other army. Like, those sequences of the panels on how they were laid about within this chapter, I was just like, holy shit, this shit actually feels like a fucking movie. I mean, when it comes down to this chapter of Kingdom, it was definitely an awesome chapter. It was probably one of my favorites of the series that we have had in quite some time. Just on how this simple chapter, not a whole lot of fighting going on within this chapter here, but just showing how one man can in fact change the entirety of the war is so fucking awesome to see. And while we could see that from Shin in the future, at the moment, shit is not looking good for Chin. So, yeah, I mean, we do know that Shin at the very end is on his way to take on Riboku and find out his location. And while we do know that Shin does have a lot of strength and can probably stick toe-to-toe with Riboku on some level, at the same time, like I stated before, when it comes down to Shin's personality, that is going to be the ultimate decisive factor on if this will be good or bad when it comes to, you know, what he just did. Because he completely disregarded the original plans that Osen had for him, and also he left his comrades and just completely, you know, went straight after Riboku. Full-on recklessness right there. And that is his biggest weakness. So that is something that we have to stick out there for. Because if we have seen the other events within Kingdom on how Shin has been reckless, they usually fall into some type of consequence, you know, one way or the other. So there is that. So we'll have to be on the lookout for that one. So yeah, guys, what did you guys think about this chapter of Kingdom? I loved it. What about you guys? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that red subscribe button down below if you want to stick updated to my future content on this channel. And with that said, everyone, thank you so very much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.